Lowest offer will display the full amount of information about the actual seller, about who that is offering the lowest price. It's very similar to lowest price, so make sure to refer to the documentation to see how they differ. There's a lot of other price related functions, so it's also going to help you figure out which one to use at when. There are sample formulas that you can just copy and paste, and then just update the parameters so that replace it with your own, and you'll quickly figure out how to pull the data. We have the syntax, the descriptions, as well as, say, the formulas for the single sellers, as well as the multi-seller / agencies, as well as the different attributes that you can use within the formula. I've loaded two to begin with in this example. I've got one for lowest offer, and I've got one for lowest price. I want to start off with showing you the two differences. With lowest offer, the data attributes that can come up is listed here. So there's all of these. For example, like shipping time days, positive feedback, how many feedback the seller has received, etc. How many multiple price offers at lowest price. And the lowest price one is much simpler. It only has this information. There's not really a overlap of the different data types. So you can see that the lowest offer one is more targeted towards giving you information about the seller or the business that is selling itself. And lowest price is focused more on the actual price that the seller is listing and selling for. With that out of the way, I'm going to delete this lowest price section. And let's get into lowest offer. I created this table by using the formula Gorilla _lowest offer and a single Skew input. When you're trying to use a table, you cannot use a range of Skews or ASINs. It can only be one value. If I were to say change this to C3 to C100 or 1000, I'll do 100 to make it quicker. It's going to ultimately default back to the most basic results because it's not going to be able to create a table. A single Skew may have multiple sellers, and so if I was to try and create a range and table, it's just going to be rows trying to overwrite each other, and that's why it just defaults back to the most standard format, which is something like just the Skew itself. On this formula, only the Skew is a required input. Everything else is optional, and that's why you only need one input for the Skew range. It's going to be better always than doing, say, something like this, where you do Gorilla _lowest offer C3, where you only click on one Skew, and then if you were to drag it down like this, you're pretty much requesting data. How many times is this? Let's see, 16 times. So this is pretty much 16 formulas. If you had 1000 and then you dragged it down, you're requesting 1000 data requests to Google. And at the end of the day, you're going to run out of daily quota that Google gives you. It's not something that we can control. It's just something that every Google account has, because Google also has to limit how much data access and throttle the request and things like that. So to get around that and to make it as easy as possible, use a range. So see 100, and this, you get 100 results, but it's really considered just one call, one formula. Let's expand this formula out a bit now. I've got the Skew. I can move on to the next one, marketplace. Use a comma to shift over to the next input. You'll see it come up green bold, and that will tell you what your current position is. For European or South American people, use a semicolon instead of a comma. Okay, so for marketplace, US, comma, condition. Do I want to pull up, say, new or used conditions? I'm just going to do new, which is always the case anyways, comma, return style. Since I'm doing a range, return style doesn't matter. It's not going to work anyways. It's once you do a range, return style pretty much turns off. So you could enter anything and it's not going to give you like a full table or anything. I'm just going to press a space to skip over that, comma, and listing price. Do I want to get a specific data point, or do I just want to get the default value, which is the listing price? to see the different parameters, okay, I'm just going to press enter there and it will pull up the listing price. To see the different parameters of the different prices you can get landed price, listing price, shipping price, and regular price. So let me copy and paste landed, listing, shipping, regular. So landed price, shipping price, what was the other one? List price, and I'm going to ignore regular price. Okay, so I'm going back to the formula and I left it empty, which will default to listed price, but now I'm going to click on landed price. And since I want to also drag the formula over to the right to fill up the other data points, I'm going to lock some references in. E1, and that should be good. And now I can drag to the right and bulk load all of the other shipping prices and the list price, etc. And this way you can see, grab this information. So it does work very similar to lowest price, but the main differentiator is when you try to, load a table. So look at lowest offer, not price, lowest offer, Skew, let's grab something randomly. Here we go. Comma, 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 and then I did one too many. Now that I'm on the return style section, green and bolded, I'm going to do full with header, close the formula, list it, and then it will tell me that there's something in O2. Okay, there's something in O2, so I'm going to delete that, and then it was able to generate this table. So you can see one Skew has 3 different sellers on it, and by doing so you can get a good idea of who the sellers are and the stats and the metrics that they have for whatever product they are listing together with you. Okay, I hope that helps. Refer to the documentation and you can let us know if there's anything missing.